Hello, everybody. Josh here, and welcome back to another episode of the Kayfabe Central podcast of the headlines in pro wrestling this week, episode 25 of the headlines in pro wrestling this week. I'm your host, Josh. As always, joining me is Rue on Wrestling,
Hey guys.
and he is back, the Stu World Order.
He hath returned. And now you can see him and you understand why he's got a face for radio.
Exactly. Yeah. This is gonna be a thing that we just do from going forward, with the cameras on. Because it was Rue actually. I didn't even give you credit last time, Rue. I apologize. He was the one who brought it up to me. He's like, maybe we should do cameras on. And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? People do stare at the same graphic for like 2 hours. And then I looked at my watch time. I was like, okay, yeah, maybe let's switch it up a little bit.
To be I give credit to Lolly because it was her that said when last week when she was like, "Oh, I was gonna I've been recording my facial reactions to things and that." And I was like, "I'll just be funny to have on the screen in general."
Yeah,
I love the
exactly.
fact as soon as you guys get a woman on, you're like, right, we're turning the cameras on now.
Much better ideals.
Oh my God.
Shoes off, we can get the cameras on at last.
Not even 2 minutes in, and Stu is being Stu once again. So yeah, we got a lot of interesting things to talk about. We're gonna be talking about week one of NXT Gold Rush. We got some interesting things that came from Tony Khan and AEW in general, with some people over there. We're gonna be talking about Nixon Newell, aka Tegan Nox, as well, because that is something we completely forgot to talk about last week on the headlines. So we're going to be talking about that, a lot of other interesting things. Before we get into that, though, as always, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews. Speaking of interviews, tomorrow at 11 a.m., my interview with Mikey Truth, Dynasty's very own, drops. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. It's going to be a hectic morning over here on Kayfabe Central tomorrow, because I am scheduling every single thing tomorrow except for the kayfabe recap, which I have to record at like maybe like 9 in the morning. So that is going to be out very early, as well as the Mikey Truth interview, and then everything else from there is going to be scheduled because I will not be in town. I am going to a concert tomorrow, so I will not be here. But make sure you guys stay tuned for all that stuff to come to the Kayfabe Central YouTube channel and Spotify. Also check out the Kayfabe Central website. That's where I post all my coverage posts, articles, written predictions, all that good stuff are over there on the Kayfabe Central website. Speaking of written predictions, if you guys haven't checked out our AEW Full Gear predictions that I did alongside Rue, go ahead check that out. Yeah, self promos out the way. Let's jump straight into the headlines. So I mentioned Nixon Newell, aka Tegan Nox, and that's what we're gonna start with because this situation is very interesting, to say the least. Because Nixon Newell and I believe, oh, what's her partner's name? I can't even remember.
That's
Miranda something.
Miranda. Is it like a Lee's or something?
I think something like that. But they were set for a tag team match against Megan Bayne and was it it was Shafir, right? Because Penelope's injured. So they were set for that tag match, just a regular tag match. And from what I gathered on this, their time got cut or something like that, and Nixon was not happy about it. And instead of going out there and doing her job and, jobbing to Bane and Shafir, she leaves. She leaves the building and, they had to be replaced with another tag team. And I looked at this and I was like, okay, we've had situations like this where, Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out at one point in time of the WWE. But Nixon Newell isn't an even AEW superstar. She's not signed at all, and after this she's not going to be signed. Um I don't know if this is a situation, and this is where I'm leaning more towards, a very talented individual who just lost interest in professional wrestling. And that's a shame because I really liked Tegan Nox, and you know I will say, as much as I like Tegan Nox, um, for somebody who spent more than half her time on the injured list in the WWE, she sure has a big ego. And she apparently is overcharging for appearances and bookings and signings. Like there's been promoters that have been like, yeah, she's charging way too much um, to bring her in. Which is why we've only seen her appear at like one or two independent shows. Um, this is really unfortunate because again, I like Tegan Nox, aka Nixon Newell. I'm just so accustomed to calling her Tegan Nox, but I think she was a really talented wrestler, and it sucks that, she has, gotten to this point, and I don't even know how long she's been with her partner. I think it's been like a year or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but it seems like that's what she's more focused on than it being wrestling. And if that's the case, I don't understand why you're even attempting to be in the sport because I assume that Tony Khan wanted to use her for like Ring of Honor or something. And everybody knows this is how you get introduced in pro wrestling. You start off by jobbing to people. That's just what it is. Like there's been so many people that have come through AEW and they've jobbed to people on Dark or they've jobbed to people on Collision, and then eventually they can move on to Ring of Honor, and then you start winning some matches, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're doing very well in AEW and you're signed. Clearly, Tegan Nox thinks otherwise, and she thinks she's much bigger. At least that's what I've gathered from this.
Yeah, I forgot we even didn't talk about this last week. It's a very, very complex situation, so I'll try and remember all my thoughts on it and unpack it. From what I've gathered as well, I think a lot of this was just down to many miscommunications, and the way it was presented wasn't what it looked like from behind the scenes. So yeah, I totally agree. I think there is a big place of knowing your worth. Particularly in wrestling, you use like Naomi and Sasha Banks as a great example, and I'm all for that. I'm all for knowing your worth and not being just effed over. To be truly honest, as you said though, her and I forgot what her girlfriend's called. They'd only had the one match. Is it on AEW TV? These were obviously a bit of tester matches. And at the end of the day, there are 1,000 other talents out there that would be more than happy for 30 seconds to be able to go out and do what they were asked to go do. Now, from what I've gathered is backstage, Nixon Newell had said to whoever the producer was that, hey, we don't think we should be in this role. We want to give the screen time to the team that eventually went out there. And again, I feel bad, I can't remember their names. Which that makes sense in the sense that they're like, look, we don't feel like we really want to give the opportunity to this other team. That bit's nice, but the way I think it was all then presented, they're then leaving the building. A lot of it has been miscued, and I don't think they look too amazing coming out of this. I'm with you. So Tegan Nox was someone I remember watching in the UK Indies back in like 2016, 2017 time when she started to come through, particularly in WCPW. I think she's the first ever women's champion there. I could be wrong. It's a really confusing situation. I think from what I've gathered, it does seem like it's a lot of just general miscommunication. I think you are right though about maybe Tegan Nox kind of losing her interest in wrestling only by, I think there was a report of her saying that she's only going to do another year, maybe. I think there was a report of that I remember reading. She isn't clearly looking to do this for a long time, which is a shame because she's incredibly, incredibly talented. But yeah, look, I'm all for knowing your worth, absolutely. And not getting yourself and your partner particularly effed over. In that situation, there's many, many other wrestlers who fight day in, day out. They don't get anything at all, and they would happily take that place. It's not the greatest of situations, and as you said, I think I can't imagine we'll be seeing her back on AEW TV in the near future.
At all.
It's a weird one. If somebody said to me, "Hi, I'm going to pay you. I know you were supposed to work 8 hours today, but you're only going to work 30 minutes instead," I'd be buzzing. I'd be like, okay. So either you've got the ambition to not want to do a small amount of time, or if you have ambition, then you want to make that small amount of time count for something. But if you don't have ambition, then screw it. Go out there, do your 30-second match, take the money. So it's a weird, it's a weird. I don't get the motivation behind it. If you are ambitious, then you grab that spot and you do your best with it. If you're not ambitious, then you take that time cut, half-ass it, get your money anyway. So it's a really weird one. It seems like if they have done it how I think it's being presented by AEW rather than being presented by themselves, if they have done it that way, that seems like you're being a pain in the ass just to be a pain in the ass. If they've done it because they wanted somebody else to get the spot, as you're saying, stay there and watch them. Don't just leave. You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of etiquette anyway, isn't it? At wrestling shows, you stay and you watch the rest of the matches and you support people. That's kind of what you do. So it smacks to me like they wanted to be a pain in the ass in a really loud way. That's how it seems to me, because I can't get the motivation behind whatever their motivations are. It still seemed to me you'd go and you'd do the match anyway. So it seems to me like they just kind of wanted to cause some noise, maybe, or at least Tegan Nox, Nixon Newell, whatever she's called, wanted to make a bit of noise. And if you want to clear it up, come out and clear it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I to bring up your point, Rue, about her in AEW, I don't think she's ever going to appear in AEW again. I think I would be surprised if any major promotion or indie promotion brings her in after this, because I think this is a case of where she's burned almost every single bridge. And AEW is a place where, Tony Khan, he allows, indie talent to come in for, one, two kind of thing, or one or two matches kind of thing, and lets them showcase their abilities on TV. Like we saw Isla Dawn appear on Collision when they were over in Scotland. She appeared, and now she's on like Ring of Honor with the grizzled young vets, and um that's great for her, because she did her job. She went out there, she did her job, and she knew what she was supposed to do, and she was rewarded for it. And that's professional wrestling. And I have no doubt that Isla Dawn is going to end up appearing on like a Dynamite or a Collision again, because she is really good. And I think Tegan Nox could have been the same scenario, but sometimes, like, I a little bit of a spoiler. Actually, no, I don't think we brought that up on camera. So, but I was talking to somebody, and I mentioned, I'm like, sometimes ego in wrestling is a good thing. Not to this extent. Um, Rue, you said know your worth. She's got to know her worth a little bit, and it's not what she's charging for these
I was
promotions.
going to say, if the indies aren't paying it, that ain't no worth.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's ridiculous, and like there's been some other independent wrestlers that I've come across, that I've spoken to, that I'm not going to mention, that they're ex
Mention
WWE, they're ex WWE people, and they're using that to their advantage and overcharging a little bit, and it's just like, okay, like I get it, you're trying to build off that WWE name, but were you really that important in the WWE? And it's like,
Please tell me you said that to their faces. Really? Really? Is that your price?
um, and like, it's it's not a good look, especially for Tegan Nox, and I think she's burned a lot of bridges, um, in the world of professional wrestling.
I think also, if you're charging an extortionate amount of price for an indie show, you don't want to do it. You just want to, if you'll pay me this, screw it, I'll do it. But I'm not going to do it out of the love for the sport. I'm going to do it if I get a nice big payout of it. So again, that smacks to a lack of ambition in the sport now anyway. So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I think what you said too as well, and kind of on that like lack of ambition part is, and again, this is where like it's a whole bunch of miscommunications of he said, she said, because the story, like as you said, the story that we've been presented by AEW doesn't necessarily match up to what Tegan Knox and our partners
mm,
said on their Twitch stream that they did about the whole incident, and they said that they had asked a producer if they could leave, and the producer had said yes, to go. But then that harpers back to what you were still saying. So surely they should have still known. It's just like wrestling. I know that, and I'm not. I've never trained.
Yeah.
I know you. You come in, you shake hands with everyone, you introduce yourself, and you stay and watch everything. I know that. I'm not even a wrestler. And she's been doing it, and she is fantastic. And it's not like she's a newbie to it. She's been around for the last 10 years. You would have thought that she would have known. Now, obviously, maybe part of that is on the AEW producer, but surely part of that should have been on herself to say, no, we want to stay, watch the match. And as you pointed out as well, if they wanted to give that position to another talent, they should have stayed, watched it, and then they could have said, this was really good, or you could improve this way. We always talk,
Yeah,
everyone goes
exactly
on
that.
John Cena doing that. So exactly. So I think a lot of that is on them. And as you said, that lack of ambition.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of Tony Khan, he had a very interesting week as well. He went on the Ariel Helwani show earlier this week, and he was asked a lot of interesting things by Ariel Helwani, and probably one of Ariel's better interviews. I don't watch all of his interviews, and I actually didn't watch this entire interview yet. But I made a video earlier this week about it, of some things that he said. He was asked a few interesting things. One of those things being about Edge, and if WWE had reached out to him about Edge being in the Last Time Is Now tournament, and he said no, they didn't, and he would have been more than happy to entertain the idea. And I was talking about this with somebody else as well, and like I don't have doubt, and I like, both companies have their pros and cons. I don't put one over the other. I enjoy wrestling. But Tony Khan is somebody who seems like he would have entertained the idea if he got something back. Like Samoa Joe is on his way out after this contract. He's hanging up the boots. I'm pretty sure Tony Khan would have been like, okay, I can give you Edge if maybe we get AJ Styles and we can run AJ and Joe back. I'm pretty sure that's a thing that they could have done, but we know how the WWE is. We didn't see Shinsuke Nakamura go over to New Japan for a reason, because it's the WWE. Um, so a lot of interesting things that came out of this interview. And like we can kind of go all over the place here. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff that came out of this interview. Rue, was there anything specific that you took from this?
Yeah, actually, over this last year, my just general impression on Tony Khan is just getting better and better. I actually did a video, and you can go and find it if you want, if you can be bothered to scroll. Right at the start of me starting my TikTok channel, you have to scroll right the way back, where I did like my wrestling X, and one of them was Tony Khan. There was something about him I didn't like. I just thought he was a bit of an impotent child that throws his toys out the pram whenever anything doesn't go his way. I would like to retract that statement now over the year of watching and going, you know what? I still think there's a bit of the billionaire son in him. I still think there's a little bit of that there. A little bit of he loves to be in control. I still think that's there. But on a human side, on a personal side, and more specifically on a wrestling fan side, he's grown on me so much. Because at the end of the day, that's all he is, and that's what he keeps saying, and he said that in this interview. He's just a fan of wrestling, and I think that is clear. Like we say all the time, and whether it's for good or for worse, like we mean Josh do like the predictions or whatever, we say like Tony Khan loves a bit of nostalgia because he's just a wrestling fan who grew up watching Edge and Christian, grew up watching the Hardy Boys. I would do the same probably. I'm sitting here like complaining about him. I would probably do it as well if I could. And I totally agree. If I'm watching his interview, or at least the clips of it that I've seen, I totally think that Tony Khan would be open to working for WWE if it was going to work out on his side as well. Something like this. Like I said, he's a wrestling fan at heart, and he knows how important this John Cena retirement tour is. Having Edge come over would have been a massive, massive part of it, and I could have seen Tony Khan and a wrestling fan being like, "Yeah, that's fine." As long as you said, as long he's not an idiot, then he is a businessman. So as long as he got his share of it, as you said, well, that's a match with AJ Styles, whatever. I could totally see Tony Khan doing it. But no, this whole interview I thought was actually really good. It again showed just the human side of Tony Khan, and obviously he has grown on me massively. As I really, really wasn't a fan of his. There was just something about him I didn't like, and over the year he's really sort of changed my opinion on that.
Right. First of all, I've noticed both of you are drinking out of mason jars. What the hell is going on?
I'm drinking out of a skull that was, I think it was my girlfriend's dad. It was like a oh, what's the rum called? Is it Dead Man's Finger or something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of them. So it's this massive glass, which means I don't need to keep going and refill it.
I was going to have a go at Rue for once again proving he's actually posh until I then just saw Josh sip out one as well. And I'm sitting here with my mug of coffee that's gone
Yeah.
cold. I've my can of Monster as well.
There you
I've lost my train of thought now because I've just been distracted by mason jars. Um, Tony Khan, to jump on what Rue said, Tony Khan is a fan. He's a fan, and I know you say he's like spoiled and likes to be in control. He's a fan who's the boss, so he has to have that
Yeah.
level of control. But as fans, we do it regularly on here. We throw our toys out the pram because we're fans who want the absolute best, and when we don't get it, we kick off. Sadly, he has to do it in a really public arena, and he's the boss. So sometimes he has to kind of be out of order when he does it. Um, so he said, obviously, WWE didn't contact him about Edge. That doesn't go to say that the WWE didn't contact Edge. Um, maybe Edge didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? Maybe Edge didn't want to do it because I'm sure if it was something that would have interested him, if there was a thought the WWE had, I would have contacted Edge rather than Tony Khan. It would have been like, Edge, do you want to do it? If so, lay the groundwork with Tony Khan and let's see if we can make something happen. As you said, Tony Khan seems a lot more open to the sharing than the WWE are. The WWE like to share when we eventually will take all your titles and then your company. So I don't know if there was contact between WWE and AEW, or there was contact between WWE and Edge, or if there was just no contact at all. We don't know because Edge ain't gonna say nothing until Edge retires or until Edge goes back to WWE. Adam Copeland, see, it's not even Edge, is he? He's Adam Copeland.
go.
So yeah,
Fierce upon that.
I don't mind Tony Khan. He's just like a fan who was given a wrestling company. There you go play. Hey, you know when we used to have our little wrestling rings and our action figures and stuff like that. Tony Khan's got like a real life set, and I think he's grown into it. He was a complete fanboy who had a wrestling company. Now he's kind of like, I have a wrestling company and might need to start making money on it. Hence him saying goodbye to CM Punk at the end of the day. He had an amazing talent there that was just going to draw money and draw money and draw money. But eventually, he's kind of shown his grown up side now. He's like, you might be a great attraction. I can't handle you here, so I don't want you here. Which is great. I think it's great for everybody because we've now got CM Punk back in WWE and he's doing great. And he seems to be just like a mellowed, proper, just mellowed from what we hear anyway. So yeah, I've never had really any beef with Tony Khan. I was just like he was a child who was given a wrestling company. It's like, and now he's kind of like, okay, I need to. I'd like this wrestling company to stick around for a bit. So yeah, he will always do the best for wrestling. To be fair, sometimes he'll be like, no, I want to see this, and then somebody will have to be, well, that's shit. I was like, I know, but I wanted to see first. So yeah, it was a good interview. To be fair, he certainly didn't do himself any harm with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other things that came out of this, and this was the video I made earlier this week that I got a couple people commenting under my stuff about. That being when Ariel Helwani brought up the fact that the WWE and TNA relationship was probably made to hurt AEW. Apparently, Matt Hardy was somebody who brought this up to Ariel Helwani, and Tony Khan was like, "Oh, it's cool that Matt Hardy said that." And Tony Khan agreed that it may have been to hurt AEW. Um, I wouldn't put it past the WWE if that was the case, especially if somebody who's involved in this partnership and Matt Hardy is saying so. Um, I think that's a fairly trustworthy source coming from Matt Hardy. Um, Now, the reason I was getting a lot of comments is because I full-faced answered this question, and I said, yes, AEW is a threat to the WWE. They don't want to make it the WWE that is, um, try to play it off as, oh no, they're not a threat, although they counter program almost everything that they do. They don't have any more counter programs scheduled for the rest of this year, but that doesn't mean it's not going to continue in
Hooray!
2026. Um, so that is, I think it may have been. I'm not going to say for sure it was because I don't have an official report that somebody said, oh, okay, it was definitely made to hurt AEW because maybe they just wanted to partner with TNA, WWE and TNA. They have that long history of them feuding back and forth in real life. So maybe, maybe not. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't put it past them at all.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I would like to think on the one hand, WWE actually could see the value in collaboration. They've used a. I'm going to take a positive spin on it for the first part here and say that they might have taken inspiration from AEW and seen it does work. It drives fan interest because it is. When TNA started coming into NXT, we all went, "Holy shit!" It's still cool. Some of the matches we're seeing. We're getting to see Zack Ryder slash Mark Cardona come back on TV. We're seeing Dolph Ziggler. We're seeing Nick Nemeth. These are some of the biggest like numbers draws that they're now getting like on their social medias. It works. And it works in AEW as well, getting to see some of these crazy matches at the time, when we had these kind of the world collide between New Japan and AEW, getting some cool matches. But as you said, if WWE wanted to do this, realized they could have done this years ago, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're going to do it now. So part of it does kind of seem that way. I think the other, and as you said, like it takes that talent pool a little bit away. Basically, they can't use them, and I wouldn't put it past WWE, as you said, to do that. Because the issue is, and that's what I just said there, the collaboration works. Because if AEW and WWE could work together, wrestling wins. That's the answer to this. Everyone wins, and it would be amazing to get that Dream Walls Collide show, but
Oh
it's not
my
going to
God.
happen. It would
Oh,
be so good. It'd be so good.
oh.
That's I mean, we all win. I mean, and that's the thing when you talk about is AEW a threat? It still absolutely is. Like you get the weirdos like us that just watch everything anyway, so we don't really count in this demographic. But we know fine well, we know people that are on one side or the other. Well, that's a good or for bad that we know them. So like yes, it is a threat and it's something. So I do think, especially this year, like I've been like spoiler, I know I go on about all the time talking with you, Josh, and talking about if you want to do any form of end of the year awards. AEW is my company. They've been on fire this year in comparison. WWE have had some high points, but AEW have kind of stepped it up a gear. And now it's like, right, now it's time WWE, can we step up to it? And in some cases they have. So they are absolutely a threat. I wouldn't put it past the WWE to have done this as a petty move. But at the end of the day, it's what they should be doing in collaboration. We all get to win as wrestling fans. I just wish we could see it between the two top companies.
So if they did do it, if they kind of joined forces with TNA to hurt AEW, first of all, it ain't worked. It hasn't harmed AEW in any way, shape, or form. All it does is actually tantalize a little bit like, well, if it works with TNA, maybe it could work with AEW as well. Maybe that's why WWE did it. Maybe they did it with a smaller company and like, look, we won't kill you. We'll just make things better. Maybe it's like, look what we did to them, and we can do it with you, and then we'll screw you in the ass afterwards and take over your company. Um, the interesting thing was what Chris Jericho, an AEW talent, said, where it was Bound for Glory, I think it was, and Chris Jericho said, very interestingly, that made TNA look like the second biggest company in wrestling, which was a very strange thing for Chris Jericho of AEW supposedly to say. So I know that's kind of by the by, but it kind of interested me that he would say that. Yeah, it hasn't harmed AEW. If anything, it's probably given more credence to AEW because everybody's like, oh my God, look, WWE having to team up with people now to try and offset what AEW are doing. I mean, it's the same with AAA as well. Maybe they're doing a Yellowstone thing where they're like, we're gonna buy all the land around your land, and then we're gonna force you out. Um, it it hasn't harmed them at all. It was definitely done with a view to here is what we can do AEW, whether it's we can hurt you or whether it's we can collaborate. It was certainly done with AEW in mind in some way, shape, or form. Because let's be honest, at the end of the day, they're all businessmen, and businessmen want to make money and they want to keep their products safe as well. Which I don't hate. It's not like how dare they do that to combat AEW. It's like okay, I see what you're doing there. It's just makes business sense because at the end of the day, even though we're fans and we just want great wrestling, they are businessmen and they have to make themselves money for their stockholders. Oh, why am I being rational and reasonable and talking about money and stuff like that?
You're the corporate man now.
Oh, what's happened to me? I've gone away for like 3 weeks, man. I've come back all like sensible and corporate. I'm just gagged in my own mouth at my disgusting comments. Screw you, WWE, you money hungry bastards. There you go. I feel better now. Thanks, guys.
You feel good now. Actually, to point out to also just go on what you said, Josh, about the not being counter programming. I just clicked on YouTube and completely forgot you. You were wrong. We have AAA tonight in Jill and Full Gear. The AAA. I forgot that was on tonight.
This is why we have cameras on because I do this a lot on the podcast.
I just went on YouTube and I was like, "Whoa, WWE Live! Oh wait, yeah, I forgot it's the CDMN MX show that's on tonight at the same time as Full Gear."
I love the fact they usually counter program them with like NXT or AAA, and the one time they tried to do it, no, we're going to do it main WWE show. It was WrestlePalooza, which was like the worst show ever. Poor choice.
But yeah, there were some fun things to come out of that interview. Like when Tony Khan talked about the picture with Ricky Sainz, Jade Cargill, Punk, and Cody, said it reminded him of like a time in AEW. So that was nice. It was cool to see all that stuff, and he seemed very positive. He didn't like I remember when he did the interview with Ariel about like CM Punk and stuff, and he just gave nothing in that interview, and Ariel was frustrated doing the interview. As a viewer, I was frustrated watching the interview. So I'm glad that they did a much better interview here. So I brought this up last week, and this is going away from the AEW stuff. But I want to talk about TNA again. Because we brought up TNA last week, and we brought up the what's going on with Mike Santana, how they took some time off for a few weeks, and they have Frankie Kazarian beats Mike Santana for the TNA World Championship, which still doesn't make any sense to me. This week's episode of TNA Impact, it was fine, but there were a lot of things wrong with it. First of all, Mike Santana's not even going for the TNA World Championship. JDC beat Eric Young in the main event of TNA Impact. Good match, by the way. But JDC is next in line for the TNA World Championship at Final Resolution because he's on his way out as well. He's hanging up the boots. So I don't know where they're going with this Mike Santana versus NXT thing because you look at the people that invaded TNA from NXT, it's just a bunch of people who aren't doing anything. Like Charlie Dempsey, Stax was there. I think Ariana Grace was in that mix as well.
Stax was alive.
He's not still the Heritage Cup champion. That's a genuine question, isn't he? I can't remember if
he is this Heritage Cup champion. Yeah, he just gave up on looking for it.
Donatella made it disappear, and that was it. It made Stax disappear with it.
High Rise was there as well. So yeah, it's very weird where they're going with this. It's leaving me almost speechless because what are you doing? Mike Santana comes out. He looks so badass. He puts the chair in the middle of the ring. He sits down and he cuts a good promo. Because that's just what Mike Santana does. But then you think of this direction that they're taking with him. It's like, okay, when are you going to put the title back on him? And like, mind you, I have no problems with Frankie Kazarian holding the TNA World Championship. It's crazy to me that he's never held that title before. And you know what? I'm happy for Frankie Kazarian. I think he's fantastic, but I think it was the wrong time to do this. You could have still had Frankie won, and it makes it even weirder with and I still don't know why they went with two winners for the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, but it makes it even weirder with Nick Nemeth still holding the trophy and can cash in at any point in time because I really hope to God that they don't go Mike Santana wins the TNA World Championship back from Frankie Kazarian. But this time Nick Nemeth cashes in on him and wins. I That would be one of my last straws with TNA because that is absolutely ridiculous. Well, I'll get into the other segment after. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this.
Just love TNA. So we can say Mike Santana is too good for that company. He's like, he just seems so different. Like he's so badass and so cool. And then TNA is just going to TNA. I'm with you. We talked about it last week, so I won't speak too much on it. I don't know what they're doing. It makes no sense. I think you might be about to get disappointed. Maybe not quite with what you just potentially predicted there, Josh. But I think there's a chance that JDC wins that belt from Frankie, and then we get the Nick Nemeth cash in. I thought about that as well. It could happen. I don't know. It's a shit. I love TNA. But right now, I don't love TNA. That's all I can say on it.
Yeah.
TNA is like everybody's kind of weird, simple cousin. They're just having fun, man. Just having a
chilling,
good
just vibing.
time. Literally, I've gone away for 3 weeks, and both Mike Santana and Tatum Paxley have begun and finished their title reigns. I don't understand what's happening. It's like the world's got a bit mental. It's like I think the order part of Stew World Order was more necessary than I thought. I don't. I'm not going to swear because we're on camera now. I just used to say it was. I'd try and swear with a Scottish accent so people think it was Rue. But
fuck.
What the fuck are they doing? Honestly, they've lost their shit. I was so excited for Santana to be champion. I was like, yes, we're gonna start really watching TNA now because Mike Santana's. Oh no, wait, no, he's not.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't even put him in NXT. Stick him straight into AEW. Screw it. That'll make him something. But like, I mean, he's too good for TNA. He's too good for NXT in my eyes. He's main roster material. The guy's so cool. It's very rare I see a wrestler and I'm just like, you're just cool. You're just a cool dude. As soon as he came out one time in NXT, I was like, oh, who is this guy? Just moves different, walks different, talks different. Just so knows what his character is, knows who he is. You could tell it's a kind of a real genuine character. You know, they say take the best parts of yourself and just amplify them. That is exactly what he is. What he is. It's just better than that. And they've given Kazarian it. It's like, oh, I'm sorry you've never won a title. Here you go. We'll just ruin everything we've just been planning. Is Vince McMahon secretly running TNA? Because it would explain a lot.
It was me, Vince. Oh, me, Hunter. It was me, Hunter. All along,
It was me, Hunter.
I'm mad. I want that to happen now. I'm going to start protesting
you could just be like, okay, I understand now. There we go. That makes sense then. Thanks, Vince. That's all I've got to say.
That's TNA. Just TNA.
Yeah.
TNA.
I brought this up to Rue last week and Lolly. I think that Mike Santana would fit perfectly on the SmackDown roster right now, because he's just so good, like you said. And I also brought this up last week. I think Mike Santana is what WWE wanted Jey Uso to be.
Yeah.
And I think Mike Santana would fit so much better on the main roster in WWE. Because like you guys said, he's too good for TNA. Like I when I seen him at Destiny Wrestling, he comes out and I'm like, man, this guy needs to be at a WrestleMania one day. Like it doesn't matter what arena he walks in. Like even a small arena like Battle Arts Academy, he walks out and it's like, man, this guy has it. He is so good.
Exactly.
And like you think about his finisher, the spin the block. It's a discus clothesline. Usually that's a regular move. he makes that look so good, and it makes it so impactful when he hits it. Yeah, man, Mike Santana is there. There's my weekly praise for Mike Santana.
Can you
Um,
imagine the promos with some of these people? Can you imagine promos with like Punk or Rollins or people like, oh my God, not even just to wrestle them, just to stand there and talk to them. Oh my God.
Well, I brought up a match last week to Josh when he said perfect SmackDown. Imagine Santana and Dragunov going back and forth.
Oh, that
yeah.
would be one snug match.
Um, so I wanted to bring this segment up on TNA because after this, I stole Rue's line and I tweeted out "lol TNA." Um, we had this segment where um, the Elegance brand we're looking for Mr. Elegance. Um, and so it was Ash by Elegance, M by Elegance, and Heather by Elegance. Holding auditions with the personal concierge, who goes by Iceman over in here on Ontario, and we absolutely love him. And he was fantastic. One of the guys came out wearing like a pinkish suit, and he said the only guy who can get away with wearing a suit like that is the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. And I was like, I absolutely love that. He is great. But what was not great was the segment as a whole. Because you had these, muscular male model looking dudes come out behind the curtain and introduce themselves to the Elegance brand. The first guy that came out, they cut to him and Ash going to the back, and then cut to him just covered in lipstick and sweat. I'm like, okay, so I'm watching a porno at this point because what are
It
we?
was written by Vince McMahon then.
The evidence is stacking up.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we doing here? Like, what is actually going on with this company? And why do we need to do this? Right? Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance are so damn talented, and a lot of people who just watch TNA Weekly wouldn't know that. But if you see their work on the indies, um, again, going back to my interview with Emilio, the Destiny World Wrestling promoter, one of the best matches in Destiny Wrestling is Heather Reckless versus Maggie Lee, who's M and Heather by Elegance. Great match. Um, these two are too talented to be doing stuff like this, in my opinion. And I know it's TNA. Maybe we shouldn't be taking TNA that seriously, but at one point in time, we did take TNA seriously, and it just over time, it was like, okay, we're just gonna kind of forget about them, and be like, oh, this is typical TNA.
I've not actually, I had no idea this segment existed, and now I need to go and find it after you've said this because this sounds hilarious and awful all at the same time. But yes, I can't really comment because I haven't seen it, but from what you described, it sounds awful. And the Elegance brand is something that I really like. As you said, like Heather and Elle are both fantastic, and I've sang the praises of Ash over this last year. Also, everything that's happened with her is really, really shitty. We still don't quite know what's going on. She's improved so much. The whole brand, I actually really like it. I don't like the sound of this segment though, because lol TNA.
I hate stuff like I hate it so much. I hate it. I like some semblance of seriousness in my wrestling. The worst thing is somebody had to pitch this, and then somebody else was like, and I'm not naming names who it was, but somebody was like, "That's gold, kid. That's gold." You know what I mean? Somebody's like, he sat there all night, like, oh, what can we do? What can we do? Got it. And then he went and told somebody else, and that somebody else didn't go, that's a shit idea. Go away. Think again. So somebody then had to say, oh, I think that's a good idea. Let's bring it to them. And then those people were like, let's do it. And then they had to go to the talent, and the talent were like, sold. I'm in. Absolutely in. I don't care. Piss off. TNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, TNA. I said it as a joke, but now you've just said that again. I'm like, does Vince McMahon own this company? I said it as a joke, but now I'm starting to think it's real. Like,
So speaking of somebody from TNA made an appearance on Monday Night Raw this week in the Last Time Is Now tournament, that being Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, which is what he came out as against Solo Sikoa in a losing effort. At first I thought that it would have made more sense to have Cardona or Ryder in New York and Ziggler on SmackDown. But then I thought, I'm like, okay, maybe they just knew Ziggler was gonna sell for Solo, so I guess that makes sense. And what she did, oh my God, that hard buckle that Ziggler took. Oh my goodness. When I was actively wrestling, I hated taking hard buckles on the back, and like the front was worse. Ziggler just took that like no problem, and oh my goodness. Um, yeah, it was a good match, and it was really cool to see Dolph Ziggler back. Obviously, he's not back. He's not signed. He's still with TNA as Nick Nemeth. He even had like the Nick Nemeth tights on, so he was representing TNA all the way when he came out, even as Dolph Ziggler. So I can respect that. Can't say the same for Matt Cardona though. He just full on came out as Zack Ryder on SmackDown, despite years being like Zack Ryder is dead. And then, he gets a bunch of money sent to his porch, and they're like, okay, Zack Ryder's back. So, yeah, this was really cool to see. I didn't expect Dolph to win this match anyway. And, I guess, like, Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler, like, you wouldn't say they're, like, pivotal rivalries in John Cena's career, but, they had a part to play in, some aspects of it. So this was really cool to see. And yeah, I really had that nostalgic hit and feeling when Dolph Ziggler's music hit.
Yeah, me too. I also loved that Ziggler came out and screamed TNA down the camera. That was
Yeah.
also it's an extra take the hint. I love this because Ziggler wasn't even someone that was on my radar, and I love being surprised in wrestling. Like I love it. It's the best part about it. So if you had asked me to name five wrestlers, I would not have put Ziggler's name. I don't know why. It just went out of my brain. So when I hear the here to show the world just hit, I loved every second of it, and it just made me realize how much I missed Dolph Ziggler, and also just what an amazing and such an important part he played being on the roster. Because I just said, no, I'm not going to sit here and say Solo is bad. Solo is a solid wrestler. Like, he's not amazing, but he's solid. He made Solo look at like $1 million freaking bucks in that ring. He was sold everything to his arse's content, and it was so good. I loved it. As you said, like he was going to win. It was great to see that one-off appearance for him. Yeah, I love this. It was slightly spoiled for me, which did make me very sad, but just getting to hear it again, I loved it. It was so nice. Yeah, I want Dolph Ziggler back now, please.
So when he came out, my wife was like, "Who this?" So I had to pause it. And I'd be like, okay, this is a guy, Dolph Ziggler. He was the world champion once. He was really popular. Why was he popular? Because he used to sell and make everybody else look really, really good. So watch for his selling. He did not disappoint me. My miss was like, oh my God, he's dead. From like the Samoan Spike, which, let's be honest, is the most pathetic finisher in the world. It's rubbish. But Dolph Ziggler made it look like he'd just been shot by a shotgun from 2 yards away. That was Dolph Ziggler coming. Remember me, remember why you love me. I think the shame is, as far as Dolph Ziggler goes, Matt Cardona goes, Javon Evans goes, is they didn't get a win. Like none of them at all got. There wasn't even one like surprise win. I suppose the surprise win was last night's win. Kind of a surprise, but it's a shame that I don't think we've been surprised by any of the results so far in the last time is now. And it would have been lovely to see. I'd have preferred Dolph Ziggler to go over than Matt Cardona to go over or Zack Ryder to go over. Speaking of Zack Ryder, though, to be fair, I did see an interview with Matt Cardona where they asked him, look, if you were ever asked to lace up again as Zack Ryder for a Rumble appearance or something like that, would you? He said, I've got the gear, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a massive surprise to me that he came out as Zack Ryder. He's probably the one who's got the most legit beef. Probably the two people who have the most legit beef with John Cena is Zack Ryder and Wade Barrett. I'm surprised he hasn't rocked up in the tournament. Like, if anybody had a reason they wanted to bury John Cena at the end of his career, it's Zack Ryder and Wade Barrett. But no, it's lovely to see him. I like seeing Dolph Ziggler back. I'm different to you guys. You're like, yes, Cardona, yes, Dolph Ziggler. I'm like, no, I wanted someone bigger. I wanted bigger. I wanted a bigger surprise. I don't know who that would have been, but no, get The Rock, get him back. That's just
Imagine that. It doesn't show up for WrestleMania, but it was show up for the tournament.
Yeah. Go out in the first round. Actually,
Uh,
I'd be really pleased to do that. But yeah, no, I enjoyed seeing them. It was lovely.
and like obviously we got the news, I believe it was yesterday that Sheamus is now injured and dealing with shoulder injury, unfortunately. So he is out of the last time is now tournament. I don't know how they're gonna go about this if they're gonna do another bullshit mystery opponent thing. Um, I am thinking that's what they're gonna do, and it's gonna end up being somebody like Joe Hendry. So not the most exciting thing to me. I think LA Knight and Gunther is going to be the finals because I think they're on opposite sides of the bracket, right?
I can't
Yes.
even know. I should remember. Let me pull this up.
I believe they are, and I think that's going to be the finals, LA Knight and Gunther. Um, Carmelo Hayes, obviously, he faces Gunther on Raw tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night, on Monday night. Today's Saturday. Um, so I I'm not fully enjoying the last time is now tournament completely because we know how it's gonna end. And we all know how it's gonna end. It's gonna be Gunther winning this entire thing, and he's gonna beat John Cena in his final match. And like Stu said, I wish we had a little bit more surprises. Um, and I don't want the surprise to be that, oh shit, LA Knight wins the tournament. I don't want that. Because look, I'm going to say this straight up. We need to stop building this company around 40, 50-year-olds. It needs to stop because there's going to come a point in time where they're going to be gone, they're going to be retired. And who's the only young guy you're going to have left? Braun Breaker? That's not going to work. You're going to only be left with one guy. You need to build some other guys up. I like that Carmelo Hayes got a victory, and I like that they protected Bronson Reed in that victory as well. That made a whole lot of sense to me, and I wasn't upset about that at all. I actually thought SmackDown last night, to sidetrack a little bit, was one of the more solid episodes of SmackDown that they've done. There was still a couple points where I was like, okay, I don't really care. Like Jade Cargill and Chelsea Green, I don't really give a shit about. Why are the two women's champions on SmackDown feuding with each other and not with other people? I I really hope they don't go down the route of Jade Cargill being a double champ. Um,
Ah,
yeah,
No.
I hope that's not what they go for.
maybe a single jump.
But in terms of the last time is now tournament, it's fun to see, these names come back like Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder. It's a cool nostalgic feeling. I think LA Knight's opponent in the second round is just going to end up being Joe Hendry. There's nobody else really. Um, Actually, I just
Oh,
remembered something.
oh.
I saw the spoiler of who LA Knight's opponent ended up being. So it was
That's
not.
why Rue didn't look excited when we said Joe Hendry.
It was not.
That's why he didn't start jumping out of
It
his
was
chair.
not Joe Hendry. So I'm not gonna go through the spoilers because I was told by Runes
Yeah.
to not to do spoilers. So I will not be doing that. But um, I just remember that it is not Joe Hendry that was the opponent, and I will say, I, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything.
It's The Rock, isn't
I'm
it?
not gonna say anything.
Uh,
Um, so
It's,
yeah, I
I
completely
can
forgot
tell
about
by
that.
both of your reactions, it's shit.
I'll
It's
just
shit. It's fucking
don't.
James Ellsworth or someone.
Yeah, at least that would be a surprise. Don't. I'll just say, just don't get your hopes up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's all I'm
yeah.
saying. Uh,
sake.
I know. I seen it this morning when I came on. And I woke up and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding?" Like, anyway, yes. I hate to also bust your bubble. The final will be Gunther and Jey Uso. I'm telling you right now, it will be. Which also allows me to segue into a great segment of to promote my video for tomorrow, where I talk about this exact topic. Um, it's got to be Jey Uso in the final. It will. I made a video a couple of weeks ago talking about this almost as a joke. But when I look at the tour, I think the tournament is very just unimaginative. There's not a lot in there. Though at the same time, I was speaking to a girl in one of my comments about this, and see, as boring as it is, if you had Obafemi in this tournament, there's only one. He has to win it. So at the same time, maybe that makes sense not having him in it. I would have preferred to have just had him in it and win, to be truly honest. Um, but yeah, when I look at the field of what we have left, and I was sitting looking at it as you're speaking there, Josh. So yeah, we've got on the left hand side we have Jey Uso versus Rusev. Jey Uso is winning that. And then we have LA Knight versus mystery opponent, um, who also going to face Jey Uso.
Uh, well, I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Oh,
But the Jey Uso match happened on next week's SmackDown as well.
oh, okay. I didn't actually see that one. To be fair, I've only seen. Okay. I'll leave that be then. Um, I'll just go with what I think. Then we've also got Penta, Sikoa. I don't care. Then Gunfoot and Hayes, which is really annoying unless they're going to really swerve us and have Carmelo in here. It's annoying. Like that could have been a finals match, Gunfoot and Carmelo. But no, we're getting it here on the quarters. I'm with you. We spoke about it last week, Josh. The tournament, I thought at the beginning was a really cool idea, but now that I've kind of seen it come about, I haven't been the biggest fan, to be truly honest.
So you do remember who we wanted John Cena's last opponent to be, though?
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like we're going to get it. So that's nice. There is a part of me, this sadistic, small part of me, that kind of wants Jey Uso to win.
I said this.
Just to see the internet melt. Like it might actually, Microsoft might explode. Google's building might just fall down if it happens. And there's just this little tiny part of me. And then Jey Uso wins.
I love a bit of chaos in my wrestling, and I'm all for watching everyone else get mad.
Honestly, exactly that. And I would just then, even I'll be like, that's a ridiculous result. I think I might just go on. I think we've had the right result here. I think it was absolutely what should have happened. He is the most popular babyface in the company, and who should rightly, he's earned his spot against John Cena. Just to see if I get banned from all wrestling forever. I want Melo to win.
Yeah.
I was always staunch Gunther. I want Melo to win. I was really, really happy when he beat Bronson yesterday. And you're right, they protected Bronson. You can't have him beat the tribal chief and then lose 1-on-1 to Carmelo Hayes the next week. That would be ridiculous. But no, I loved it. I love the match. I like Cody Rhodes, but I hate us like with a big assist from Cody Rhodes. Shut up. He won. So shush, he won. That's all we need to know. Melo won. What if he beats Gunther? How high would his stock rise that he's taken on Bronson Reed and then he's beat Gunther as well? That's how you create a star. Gunther's already a star. You have Melo go beat Bronson Reed, beats Gunther, beats whoever it is in the final. Is it quarterfinal? It's no 4 matches, isn't it? So beats someone big in the semi-final. Takes on Jey Uso and beats him in the final. You know what I mean? That's how you create a star, and that's what John Cena wants, is to create a star. Maybe we end up getting a triple threat. Maybe Gunther and someone just die together. I don't know. I don't know why that's even in my head, but because everything's been too obvious so far in this tournament, apart from Melo beating Bronson Reed, which is actually kind of obvious because Bronson Reed's on his own thing.
That's what that man just said right there.
So, yeah, maybe.
I think if Melo beats Gunther, he wins the entire tournament. There's no reason if Melo beats Gunther, he should lose to fucking Jey Uso or something.
Is that what we are now? Is he fucking Jey Uso now?
Fucking Jey Uso. But I say this tomorrow in my video. I'm like, as much as I'm like, Jey Uso is not winning this, but if he's in the final, he's in with a shot. You can't deny it. He's in with a shot. If he's in the final, Jey Uso could win. It's simple maths, and it's terrifying.
I think Carmelo Hayes winning would be interesting. And honestly, it's a route they could go down. They had him win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal earlier this year. And, you know, we've seen before that usually just means nothing anyway. But maybe they could have it mean something that's, you know, his momentum. That was his, starter. Usually people, when they feud with The Miz early on in their career, they end up going on to do something good after anyway. So, like, you know, Daniel Bryan, for instance. So I can see a world where we get Carmelo Hayes versus John Cena, and I kind of just want Carmelo Hayes to refrain the catchphrase that he said when he first came to NXT. And Cena asks him, "What do you think? Why do you think you can beat me?" And Carmelo responds with ruthless aggression. And that's perfect.
Yes.
That's what he came
And then
in NXT saying, and that's how he's going to beat John Cena himself.
we're fickle people, aren't we? We wanted Gunther, and now we probably will get Gunther. We're like, I don't want Gunther anymore. It's too obvious.
That's what I thought. I think the issue that is and it's on WWE's fault. Because I thought this as well. I've having conversation with people in my comments. My video tomorrow was about that. Well, I still think it's probably going to be Gunther. My issue is, as you said, it's just been so obvious it's going to be him that it's boring.
Exactly.
I'm like, I still want that visual. And I literally say this tomorrow. Like, I want the visual of Gunther standing tall over a battered and bloody John Cena, especially with the symphony playing in the background. Now that that's back, everyone is in trouble. What a great song. So yeah, I still want that visual. But it's just, that's when this whole tournament is lackluster. And a great way to make it interesting is have Carmelo Hayes beat Gunther. I'd be so okay with that.
Yeah, honestly, because it's been. You're right. The problem is not the opponent. The problem is how obvious the opponent is, and when there's no surprise, it's not fun.
Yep.
The IC title thing is the only thing that leads me to believe it might be Gunther.
Potentially, yeah.
Because he has to be a champion of some kind.
Speaking of the Intercontinental Championship, Maxxine Dupri won the Women's Intercontinental Championship this past Monday night on Raw. Very shocking. And I was very adamant on my live watch along that Maxxine Dupri was not winning this Women's Intercontinental Championship because I'm like, there's no way they will actually go that route. I was completely wrong. But you know what? I'm happy for Maxine. You know, once in a while they always do something like this, where they pull a shocker out of their ass. But I guess it makes sense now that you can have the Women's Intercontinental Championship may be focused on something else while Becky Lynch and AJ Lee join in on WarGames, which they did. So now you don't have the Intercontinental Championship involved in that, and you don't have it being defended. I still don't have hope that they're going to have it defended at WarGames anyway, because Maxine just won it. I saw someone bring this up. I think it was actually Sean Ross, who brought this up on his podcast about who Maxine's next opponent can be. And I think this is a very good idea. Maxine's next opponent could be not Natalya, but Natty. Who comes out and says, I was your mentor. And, you know, I taught you everything, but now you're going to go over to AJ Lee for help? Why didn't you come to me? And now Natalya is mad that, you know, Maxine chose someone else, and we get a heel turn from her, and we get the Natty that we saw in, like, GCW. And that's the first feud for Maxxine Dupri. I think that could be an interesting aspect to it because, you know, Natalya hasn't really done anything in the WWE recently. So I think that can be a good first feud for Maxine because they need to capitalize on this momentum of Maxine winning it. You can't just have her pull off the shocking victory and then just have her backstage with Alpha Academy the next 4 weeks on Raw.
I was about to, like, you know, snap fingers, be like, right, Sean Ross, I'm about to school you on my own booking of the IC title here. But to be fair, the night of it is actually quite interesting, especially, as you said, if it is just a general feud to keep her going. I've already had a thought about this and who I think Maxine will eventually go up against and who I think will take it off of her. And now I want to preface this by saying I don't necessarily say I want this to happen, nor do I think it's a great idea, but I can see WWE maybe thinking this. So Maxine winning, I'll say that first. Cool, great moment for her. She's so massively improved. And it's great to see a bit of a swerve, bit of a surprise. Love seeing that. Now on to the opponent. Maxine has been very open about who inspired her, who inspires her to get in the ring, who is her favourite, and it's Nikki Bella.
Oh no!
It was. Hey, she said it. It was
That is
Nikki
not
Bella.
the name I was hoping you'd say, Rue. I have
I know.
name, but I thought you
I
were going to say that name, but
I
no.
did preface this by saying I don't know if it's necessarily the thing we want, but I can see WWE going down this route. So Maxine, I massive fan of Nikki Bella. Nikki, I mean, I guess a bit of a spoiler for next week. She ain't beating Stephanie, surely. I hope. Please, for the love of God, no.
I'm leaving the world if you know.
Surely not. Surely she's not beating Stephanie. I see a world, especially now we have evil heel Nikki Bella, which I will say I prefer heel Nikki Bella to real babyface Nikki Bella. Um, and we have her go against Maxine, and I think there's a high possibility Nikki is the one to take the belt off of her. Mainly because it's kind of mental when you look at it. Nikki Bella, for she's a Hall of Famer. She'll definitely adds a lot of prestige to that division, whether you like it or not. She's a Hall of Famer. Um, and it's mental to think about the last time Nikki Bella held even just any form of championship was her Divas Championship in 2015. She lost to Charlotte. She's not had anything since, which is kind of mental, actually. Would have thought
And that's
WWE wanted.
correct booking.
Well, exactly. I can see them wanting to do something with her here, put this belt on her. She even just said recently this is her final run. And more importantly, with the next part where I'm getting to with this, and again, I'm saying this I don't think it's a good idea. I'm just saying I can see the way they want to do it. I don't think WWE will be able to hold off from running Nikki versus AJ now that she's back. And that is potentially a match we can see maybe at Mania and Nikki versus AJ for the IC title. Not saying I like it, I'm just saying I can see WWE going down this route.
The problem is you've put it out there now. It's now in the universe. You've like spread it.
Yeah.
And now it's out there. Now somebody's gonna pick up on the waves of the universe that Rue put out there. If Nikki Bella wins the IC title, I'm holding you directly responsible. Well, see, I thought Ivy Nile.
Yeah,
I
she's
think
a
that's
great shout, actually.
solid choice, solid feud. They've obviously got the pre-existing feud between the two little groups and stuff. I was excited for that, but you've just kind of ruined my day a little bit because both of yours make sense, and both of them make me a little bit sad. Although the Natty one, I prefer. I don't mind, to be fair, Nikki versus AJ at WrestleMania. I don't mind that, and I understand why it would be better for a title. I just don't want Nikki Bella to have that title. It was again. I really, really like Maxine Dupri winning. I thought it was brilliant. It was unexpected. It was fantastic. I thought she's won twice in a row, so obviously now she's not going to win this one. So when she did, it was fantastic. Again, I hate that it always has to be with an assist. I know we had to set up WarGames. I know we had to do blah blah blah, but why is it always with an assist? Just have her win. Like what? It still wouldn't surprise me if it's Becky Lynch against the referee bird at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, for gosh. What's her name? Is like Clicks or something like that in Evolve?
Something like that. But do you know, not notice she's getting like meaty all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
maybe.
She's building to something. She's starting to wear more glamorous eye mascara or like
Oh.
whatever it's called. Yeah, she's starting to dress up a little bit. She's trying to get us to take notice of her. But I hate everything you just said there, Rue. I hate it all.
I didn't say it was good. I just said it's an ideal.
Terrible one.
I instead of the Natty route, and it definitely instead of the Nikki Bella route, the route I would go and the route that I hope that they go, because I really thought AJ Lee was going to win that Women's Intercontinental Championship. I thought that's the route that we were heading down. The way I see it is Maxxine Dupri drops that title to Roxanne Perez. Roxanne then faces AJ at WrestleMania for the Women's Intercontinental Championship because that is a match that I think we all want to see, especially a lot more over than Nikki Bella and AJ at WrestleMania. I think that's the route that they should go down, and that's the route I can definitely see them going down because they need to give Roxanne something, or they can have AJ do something else at WrestleMania maybe. Roxanne wins the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and we get Roxanne Perez versus Liv Morgan at WrestleMania for the Women's Intercontinental.
Ooh, now you're talking. I love the fact we're giving WWE way too much credit on long-term storyline telling, by the way. We go, this will happen at WrestleMania. No, it won't. It will happen at freaking the day before Elimination Chamber on SmackDown or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the idea. I'm just saying, Nikki Bella exists. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man. I saw a post that said that Nikki Bella is after this contract she's done, and I immediately went to the comments and I was like, okay, yeah, that's what I expected. Um uh so yeah, there's that. Um we talked about War Games with Becky Lynch joining the heel side officially and AJ Lee joining the babyface side of things. Charlotte Flair finally decided that she wants to join the War Games team as well. Um, looks like a pretty solid War Games matchup. I like the woman on both sides of things. I think Kairi Sane and Io Sky are going to do some ridiculous things in this match. So that can be a lot of
been involved.
That's what I said last week.
Yeah. Do you guys have any thoughts on the Women's War Games match?
It will be a good match. It will be. There's not a lot of sense in it. I still can see Stu shaking his head about the Charlotte thing because I agree. It just is. It makes no sense. I can see. I definitely see a world where they end up falling out during the match. Maybe we get a heel turn here. I don't know from freaking who, but maybe we do on someone. Yeah, it'll be good. This is what I'll say about the War Games match because I see a lot of people down on it online. I agree that it makes not a lot of sense, especially this year. The War Games matches make no sense, but there's still going to be fun matches. Like this is the thing. Like I see a lot of it. Oh, I don't want to watch War Games. I would rather watch it if it made sense and there's a storyline behind it. At the end of the day, it's still a War Games match. That's what I kept saying. I'm like, it's still going to be fun. It's still going to be ridiculous. It's kind of like when you get a Hell in a Cell, apart from The Fiend and Seth Rollins. That was atrocious. Like, even when it made no sense.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. It made total sense. At the end of the day, it was still a Hell in a Cell match. So I was quite happy to watch it. It's the same with the War Games match. They don't make any sense to be happening. And they're just being forced into storylines that make why are these people now all of a sudden friends? Why is this person caring about this person? This year more than any year, it's been incredibly egregious. But it's still a War Games match, so I'm still looking forward to it. I hope Lash comes out looking like an absolute beast. By the way, she just is so cool to see all these like main event talents sitting around her, and then Lash Legend. Like I hope this is like a big start for her. I'm a big fan of Lash Legend. So I hope she comes out looking strong in this match. I'm sure she will. As you said, and as Stu said, Gary Eel bends off the top rope, top of the cage. Sorry, I'm sure that will happen at some point. Yeah, it'll be a fun match. It doesn't make a lot of sense. A lot of the story going into it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's still going to be a fun, chaotic match.
The main issue the women's War Games match has is that the women's Blood and Guts match happened first.
So me and Josh said this last like the other week there.
Oh man, yeah, that's just put them on the back foot straight away. Like basically to match that, you're gonna have to go out and kill each other. Like somebody's gonna have to die. Which isn't going to happen, but it is going to be a fun match. I didn't get the Charlotte Flair thing. I didn't get it. I'm not going to help you, and then you don't help you, but I'm going to help you. I'm fine. I just needed a couple of days to cool down. Then what was the point of that? The Becky Lynch and AJ Lee thing could have been a massively big surprise, but they foreshadowed it so much. It just wasn't. Like as soon as Becky Lynch came out, I was like, oh, there she is, and AJ's going to follow. We didn't need the assist from AJ against Becky Lynch. We could have had the surprise of AJ joining the War Games team. But that's just semantics. No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I mean, it makes about as much sense as the men's War Game teams do. Jey Uso's like, I ain't going to help anybody anymore, man. Especially not CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. I'm not helping them anymore. I'm going my own way. Apart from I am going to help CM Punk and Cody Rhodes against these guys. Jimmy, man, leave me alone. Okay, you can come in on this one. Yeah, no, they're fun matches. So here is a little admission from the Stu World Order. I have never seen a WWE War Games match. I'm not even sure what the rules are, so I'm quite excited. I've seen clips of it and stuff, but because obviously when War Games took over Survivor Series, this was in the dark times where I couldn't pay for WWE. So I had to read it all the time. So I've never actually seen a War Games match. So I'm excited just because I get to see a War Games match. So it's just going to be fun. Somebody's going to turn, isn't they? The heels are definitely winning. Lash Legend already looks $1,000,000. She looks great. She came out and Io Sky, man, like she killed her. It was brilliant. So yeah, she this has done her no harm. You know, like in the men's one where you've got Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, CM Punk. Who else is it in that team? Roman Reigns and Jimmy. It's just like and Jimmy comes out to Jey Uso's music and his graphics.
Thank you. I brought that up on the SmackDown post show last night.
I couldn't believe that on SmackDown. It didn't even say Jimmy Uso anywhere. It just said Jey Uso. I mean, Jesus, talk about an afterthought. Lash Legend, fortunately, is not looking like and Lash Legend. She's looking like Lash Legend. Jimmy Uso just got buried by her graphic. I hope he's the one who turns, you know. I kind of hope we all think Jay might turn. I hope Jimmy's the one who does. I can't even get my own graphic. My own pyro. Screw you guys. I'm going with Paul, Logan, and Heyman. Yeah, so no, it's going to be fun. The women's match will be good. There's very good talent there, apart from Nia Jax. There's very good talent. Nia Jax is going to kill someone by accident, not on purpose.
Go get a bonsai off the cage.
One broken coccyx and one squash lady.
Oh man. Speaking of the men's War Games match, by the way, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns have been added to both sides respectively.
The surprise of no one.
Yeah. Roman Reigns was the name that I brought up last week on the headlines to join this War Games team on the babyface side. It's not Christmas, but you know the Roman is seeing the Usos again before Christmas, so he broke his word a little bit from the tribal chief. You know what? We're close enough to Christmas, right? I guess it counts. It's Thanksgiving, so I guess Roman forgot about that over there. But you know, this is gonna be fun. This is probably, you know, despite, you know, my personal feelings towards Brock Lesnar and Logan Paul, I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. This is probably what they're advertising it to be, the most stacked War Games match we have ever seen. Um, you know, you got like a whole bunch of like built up guys, like main event stars in there. And then you got Logan Paul. But then
I thought you were saying Jimmy, so I was about to go off. I'm like defending Jimmy.
But yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my point. Like I totally agree with everyone's criticism of the show. Why is it happening? Yeah, it makes no sense. But for someone in the perfect example we have here, is Stu, it is going to be great because War Games they're just fun. They're chaos. Someone every year tends to get injured. I hope that doesn't happen this year, but it happens pretty much every year. Last year it was Bronson Reed shattering his ankle.
Oh yeah, he did the thing off the top, didn't he?
He did, yes. Yeah, no, it will be cool. Someone does something mental. The year before that, I don't think he got injured, but we had JD McDonough doing the crazy RKO off the top of the cage as well. Mental. Someone will do something crazy. And annoyingly, to Josh's dismay, it's probably going to be Logan Paul who actually does something crazy off the top of the cage. I wonder, do we see a bit mental? But we did see it in Elimination Chamber. Does Brock Lesnar F5 someone off the top of the cage?
Oh.
But then I don't know if he can because everyone on the Faces team are nearly 40 or 40 plus. So I don't know if they'll be able to. Yeah, it'll be a mental match. It'll be crazy. It's cool. And again, my own personal feelings aside to Brock Lesnar, it's kind of cool to see Brock in a War Games match. It sounds like something he would just like kill everyone in. So that's cool. But yeah, it'll be a fun match. As it doesn't make a lot of sense, but hell, I'll still enjoy it.
Brock Lesnar is one of the very few people I've ever seen make Roman Reigns look small. He looked tiny. Stood next to Brock Lesnar when they had their little face off. I'm like, Roman, are you okay, man? Because you look shriveled and stuff compared to Brock. It was unbelievable. Yeah, no, it's going to be well fun. Brock Lesnar's going to cause some carnage. Logan Paul's going to do something stupid because let's be honest, Logan Paul's still trying to prove himself to everyone, especially that match. Jimmy Uso's going to turn heel because what else is he going to do? Or he's going to turn heel, or is it just one pin? One pin, done.
Yeah, once everyone's in the match, it's the first pin falls into Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Jimmy's taking the pin then. That's fine. That's why he's there. No, I'm looking forward to it. You can't ask for a better 10 people in a match. You just cannot. A better mix of people, everything. Yeah, no, I can't see it being anything other than fun and chaotic. And Brock Lesnar's going to disintegrate one of the oldies. They're literally going to vaporize on contact.
It's a high possibility. I even said this to Joshua last week. I think is what I'm looking forward to is seeing Drew and Punk going back and forth again. Don't think it'll be as bloody or Drew taking as mental of bumps potentially. Maybe, who knows? The guy's a nut job.
Those still steps back in there again.
So I don't know if you've watched his interview in that where he was like, that took so much convincing to allow them to pass, and even he said he's never taken that bump again because it could have gone so wrong. But yeah, I would say for that, Drew and Punk getting back into it will be fun. Be cool if they're the first two to start off. To be honest with you, I'd like that.
It would be pretty perfect. Just give them 5 minutes to just go at each other again.
So I know you guys don't watch Evolve, so I'm just gonna throw this in here quickly. Just because LFG stars Zena Sterling, Trill London, and Drake Morreaux all appeared on Evolve this past week. I put on Evolve last night because I don't watch it when it goes live. Because I have Dynamite on Wednesday and TNA on Thursday. So I put it on when I was just relaxing, and then I ended up falling asleep. But that's beside the point. Zena
That's a great
Sterling.
show.
Trill London and Drake Morreaux
You're selling it here.
appeared on Evolve. It's Evolve. It's not gonna. It's not the greatest thing, but it's not the worst thing either. But I'm fully behind. These three being on Evolve. It's what it's supposed to be, right? It's where you really have your tryout in front of some sort of a crowd. It's wrestling school before NXT, so wrestling school before wrestling school kind of thing. So I'm all for it. Zena Sterling, she looked fine, like she was moving fine, whatever. I'm gonna need to see a lot more from her though. Trill London can move in the ring, and if he's just got a very different and unique style about him. He comes out wearing street clothes and he wrestles in street clothes. But the way he moves is just absolutely insane. He's so incredibly athletic. And I definitely see him going up at least to NXT at some point in time, in the future. So I think Trill London definitely has a future in the WWE. Drake Morreaux obviously is Roxanne Perez's boyfriend. So he's probably going to be in the mix of NXT at some point as well, because WWE likes doing stuff like that. But yeah, that's a quick little thing on Evolve. Let's talk about some AEW stuff, or at least.
Speaking of LFG, sorry, can I just interrupt you for 2 seconds?
Yeah,
Speaking of LFG, the guy who won Series 2, Gaptooth Boy, whose name has escaped my attention.
Shiloh
Okay,
Hill.
Shiloh.
What the fuck?
I was sure we're going to get to this at some point.
The hell was that?
Did we not talk about this?
No, we haven't yet.
Oh shit, yeah. What the fuck was that?
The
worst promo of the fucking year.
I like computers. I'm a nerd. What the fuck is this shit?
It was great.
Well
I was sitting texting Josh and I'd fallen asleep halfway through the show. Or it was I'm really tired, I'm going to go to bed. So I woke up to Josh's message about that, being like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, oh, I better go watch this. I watched it and texted him right back, I'd be like, what the fuck was that?
Honestly, who gives a shit? Well done. Most of us can use a computer. Good job, buddy. Well done. You can program your Windows Vista. Half and wrestle. I fixed my tooth as well. Didn't even mention a tooth. Didn't even mention he's got a full set of teeth all of a sudden. No, he's a computer boy. Well done. I could have worked in an office, but I chose to wrestle instead. Couldn't give a shit, bruv. What the fuck, Let's give him a character. That's not a character. That's just like I work at corporate.
God,
Jesus Christ.
You just single-handedly buried that man. He can never recover from that.
no, I don't know what that was. I talked about it on my TikTok or the poster. That's what I remembered. Talking about it. But obviously it happened this week, so we couldn't have talked about it. Yeah, that was terrible. It was bad all around. There was nothing good about that. And it's unfortunate because I had high hopes for Shiloh Hill coming in the WWE.
Dash him now, bro. They are done. His high hopes are over.
Oh man, he's gonna be an Evolve very soon.
I think
But
that's a bit too advanced for him, to be honest.
It's all right. He might be able to hack the referee and like make him like blackmail him, so he keeps giving him the wins or something like that. I hacked his computer and saw his hard drive. The fuck?
It's the fact someone in the editing team at NXT has watched that and went, yeah, that's good. Let's put that out there. Like this is your LFG winner, by the way. This ain't a great showcase. At least with oh, for God's sake, what was the first season one called?
Tavion Heights.
No,
No.
the guy that won it.
Jasper Troy.
Chain.
Jasper Joy. At least he looks, well, questionable booking aside, at least the guy looks like a freaking monster. Like, he has some promise there. This guy's he's done. I know him by name. That's it. He's done.
He had lumberjack gimmick written all over him. Instead, they made a computer nerd instead. He should have been like, come out and I chop trees. That's why I'm so strong. But no, it's like, hello, everyone. I can program your computer. I can put your firewall up for you.
I wonder what bit of the podcast I'm going to clip.
Before we jump back into NXT and talk about Gold Rush, let's talk about some an AEW thing that I have written down because it's really the only thing that I do have written down because we did our full year predictions for AEW. Mercedes Moné wins the undisputed Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship, as another belt to her collection. And according to Rue, she is holding both titles, and she's going for number 15 this week. She's not going to win that AEW Women's World title. It's a possibility.
Just you watch.
But it's always a possibility that Mercedes Moné can win a title, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, I don't think she's winning that title, but interesting. The match that she had with Red Velvet was good. It was a really solid match. And it was the first episode of Collision that I watched in like maybe a month. Or maybe longer than that because I had no choice because it was connected to Dynamite. So yeah, that was a fun match. And they're clearly going to continue this trend of her just winning every championship, which I don't like, and it's not a good thing. I don't like the CEO gimmick, but I will never take away the fact that she can get it done in the ring every single time, and she is so good. And it makes me mad that she has such a shitty gimmick, but she is so damn good in the ring. Like, oh man, like if only she had a better gimmick, I would like her so much better.
Joking aside, that we also spoke about it with the AEW full year predictions, and the fact that I like we both went for Chris Statlander to retain tonight, and I hope she does because like I like the story of Mercedes can get everything done bar winning the AEW Women's World Title. There's at least something there, and you can maybe start to see her sort of descend into this like hysteria over it and this madness, which eventually maybe leads to her losing her other titles just so that she can get the AEW one. So there's a story there, but also as we said earlier, I love a bit of chaos, and kind of part of me just kind of wants to say F it because I don't like it either. But it's got to the point where there's a lot more folk who'll get a lot more annoyed than I would if she was to win it, and it will just make me happy seeing them crash out. So sort it.
Yeah, that person who's going to get more annoyed than you will is Josh.
Yeah, true.
I'm all for it, man. CEO. She can't have a better gimmick, Josh, because she cannot talk. This is the problem. She can't have a better gimmick because she can't talk. So just stick titles on her. I'm all for it. Stick more titles on her. I was gutted when she went out the tag team competition. I was like, no! I was hoping for number 15 right there. I'm sorry, guys. I wanted to win. I just want more. I want more.
Loves the chaos.
I do. Get her over the WWE, win all that as well. NXT, TNA. Just give her everything in the world. She's the greatest champion that never was. And I
Um,
just want to see if Josh's head explodes.
oh, it probably it. I don't know if it'll explode. I'll just, it'll be one of those things where I'll be like, well, you know what? I shouldn't even be surprised.
Yeah.
Um, uh, let's talk about NXT Gold Rush because we had some interesting things happen over there. Jacy Jayne wins back the NXT Women's Championship from Tatum Paxley. Um, I don't understand this.
No one does.
I I tried to make sense of it a little bit, but I couldn't because I think that at this point Tatum Paxley and Izzi Dame make sense if it's for the NXT Women's Championship. Why do it without the title? It doesn't make sense to me. I think Jacy Jayne and Fallon Henley are two people that are um, set for the main roster. I think they're ready for the main roster. I think they definitely could go up there. Lainey Reed is a different question. And like I think she needs to develop a little bit more. And without spoiling next week's NXT Gold Rush, we maybe could see a little bit of division between Fatal Influence again. But yeah, this is a very interesting route that they take, and I don't know who ends up taking this title off of JC if they finally pull the trigger on Jordan Grace or she just loses, 100 more matches. Or if maybe they do a triple threat route with Jacy Jayne, Tatum, and Izzy, and that's where Izzy Dame wins the NXT Women's Championship. Um, that's a route they can go down. I've been completely wrong about almost any woman's title in wrestling this year. And expects especially the NXT Women's Championship. I've just been completely wrong about consistently. So I have no clue anymore.
None of us do. Yeah, I was very confused to wake up and see this. I mean, great match. The two have great chemistry. The only logical part of this for me is if they're about to turn Tatum Paxley into like 20, like 13, 14 Daniel Bryan, but of the women's division in NXT. Because like she's so over with the crowd. She's fantastic. She deserved it. I was loving having her in there. And this seems so out the blue. Izzy turning on Tatum isn't a surprise. We all knew it was coming. It was going to happen. But yeah, to happen as soon as it did to have Tatum lose. I think as you said, Josh, unless they're about to go down the route of having Izzy defeat Jacy at some point and hold on to that women's championship, and then have Tatum and as I mentioned, have a Daniel Bryan-esque build back up to the the women's main event for her, to eventually topple Izzy. Maybe they do that, but for right now, I was very confused waking up and seeing this. And as you said, I'm with you that I think I basically got to the point where I think every time predicted or went against Jacy Jayne in predictions, and then I think the one time I was going to go with her. No, that was for TNA actually. 'Cause I did think Tatum. Either way, I'm with you. The women's division's been like all over the place this year. It's been. I mean, I enjoy unpredictability. That's fun. I enjoy it. But sometimes you're sat there questioning, being like, why did we do this? And at the minute, again, maybe Chef Michaels is cooking up a storm, but for right now, I don't know why we did it.
No matter what logic you try to apply to it, the title switch back to Jacy Jayne was not necessary for any storyline to play out at all. It did not need to go back to Jacy Jayne. I mean, the turn itself was really good. The two guys standing there, and then Izzy Dame clocks her with the kick. That was brilliant. But it didn't need to happen then. It didn't need to have a title switch back to Jacy Jayne. It just makes no sense. And the problem is, Jacy Jayne has such a good title run. It was such a good title run, really unpredictable. We kept waiting for her to lose it, and she wouldn't and wouldn't and wouldn't. And probably the one time, as you said, Rue, the one time we thought, well, she'll probably win this one was the one she lost. Brilliant, the whole thing. So, and again, you ruined that legacy by you're going to put it on her again for probably a secondary title run this time round. It's just a title run as a means to an end rather than a title run that actually really meant something the first time round. So it was so pointless. Why logically in her head, why would Izzy Dane turn on her to make her not champion? Surely you want her to be champion when you're going to turn on someone. So then you're immediately in line for a championship shot. Just the whole thing smacks of dumbass. And Shawn Michaels, you're better than that. And I don't know. I don't know. Is somebody injured? Is the only thing I can think of. Is somebody injured? So we've had to move forward a bit more because it was a great slow burn story that was going to happen over a course of time. But no, it makes you empty your mason jar of gin and wonder what we're doing.
You know who's definitely not injured? Sol Ruka, who didn't
We've been saying it for weeks, god damn it.
who didn't end up winning back her Women's North American Championship because Blake Monroe, I guess, channeled her second personality. God awful gimmick. She just needs to stick to the glamorous Blake Monroe because that's what she was doing in AEW and that's just who she is. But you add this split personality thing, and I talked about it before. It's not good, and it's not going to end up being good. Things like this never turn out to be good. And I like Blake Monroe a lot. I think she's really good. But WWE has a habit of taking something that's really good and ruining it. It's like you have this you have a perfect meal, right? But then you add too much hot sauce onto it and then it ruins the entire fucking meal. That's what WWE has a habit of doing to so many good characters and storylines. So I hope that they just drift away from the split personality. I highly doubt it. Um, I don't know what their next plans are for Sol Ruka. I hope it's maybe just the main roster. I feel like she can be fine on the main roster as well. But then like, you also have other people that should be going up to the main roster also. So I have no clue. But if anybody at the moment realistically should go up to the main roster, it should be Sol Ruka. Um, with Zarya, it's very interesting because I feel like Zarya is in that Rhea Ripley role where she was like teaming with like Nikki ASH and she wasn't that serious where it's like
God,
she's
that happened.
um she's a powerhouse but she's not taken that seriously and she's just kind of a goofball a little bit. Um which is why I'm starting to think that Sol Ruka is the one that's going to turn heel. I don't know if they're going to go all the way with Zarya and they're just going to have her play this, you know, gimmicky, fun girl when she should just be a powerhouse and you should just let her be a powerhouse. Um, because I think it would be perfect if Zarya just has enough of soul complaining and just bashes her leg against a ring post or something like that, and that's the heel turn from Zarya. Um, they need to do something better with this, and I don't really have any interest in seeing Blake and Soul feud again either.
Yeah. That's. I mean, yeah, match was fine. It was a bit predictable. I mean, I think texture, like I got it like bang on exactly what was going to happen. Is that I was going to throw in the towel. I was interested in seeing a Sol and Zario feud about 2 months ago. I'm at the point where I kind of just don't really care now, which is a shame because I love both of them. And I would have loved to have seen that. But it's been dragged out too much. And Zario at the minute. And I hope to be proven wrong and they changes his feet. I think, like you said, is like lost so much in the stock of what makes her hot and what she should be. Like you look at her like vignettes for coming into NXT, and she looked like she was going to be the female Brock Lesnar when she was coming in, and we've just not seen that. As you said, it's this really weird, watered down, timid version that I'm starting to no longer enjoy. But yeah, Blake Monroe, though, I mean, I'm happy she's still the North American champion. As you said, I would prefer the gimmick from AEW, but she's at least still so fresh that it's fine at the minute, I guess. Yeah, I don't know where they're going with Zarya and Salt stuff in it. It's starting to annoy me.
Yeah. First of all, when did Blake Monroe come from London, England? I swear to God, 2 weeks ago she was Australian. When did she come from London? Is that just me? I always thought she was
Uh,
Australian.
oh, I think maybe because we watch on AEW. I've always known she's from London.
No, I swear to God she was Australian. She got the weirdest accent for a bird from London.
She
Taken
does,
from a
to be
man from
fair.
London.
She does, to be fair. With a weird ass accent.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm from bloody London, mate. I'm gonna wrestle ya. Um, Yeah, I agree with Rue completely. You know, when you want to cook a storyline for a while, don't stick it in the air fryer for a day, put it on max crisp, and then expect us to eat it afterwards. You have overdone the Zarya Sol Ruka fallout. And now we, as you said, we just don't care anymore. It was cooking really nicely, and as you said, about 2 months ago, it was ready. Like pot was boiling. Let's go with it. And then we've just convoluted it and confused it. And then Zarya lost Sol Ruka's title, which makes no sense. And then now Zarya's going for the speed title, which makes no sense. And nothing makes any sense anymore. I don't care. Get Sol Ruka up to the main roster. I was like, you couldn't have her go without the Zarya blow off first, but now nobody gives a crap. And
Yeah,
Zarya, I think it's harming Zarya more than anyone.
yeah.
Yeah, because she looks so weak after the Blake Monroe loss. She looks so weak now, and then throwing in the towel, she's just this weak person all of a sudden. As you said, she came in like a monster, like an animal, and now she's like this really weak, like, oh, I love you so much. Nobody cares. Shut up. Go break some legs.
Um, so something else that happened. Actually, I guess we can talk like briefly about them running back Ricky Saints and Oba Femi for the NXT Championship.
Ah,
It makes no sense at all. It's a lose-lose situation. I don't think Oba Femi should win back the NXT Championship, and I don't think that Ricky Saints should beat Oba again. It's a lose-lose situation, and it's not going to turn out well. I don't understand what the issue is with just sending Oba to the main roster. Um, I want to think that they're just waiting for the Royal Rumble to send him up. That's probably what it is. And you know what? If that's the case, just you could have just had Oba off TV for a little bit longer rather than having him ruin a little bit more credibility for himself and losing to Ricky Saints again. Or like even like him winning back the NXT Championship. As good as Oba is, it's not interesting. He's feuded with a lot of people for that NXT title again. And what is he going to have a third match with Ricky Saints for it, or another match with Trick Williams, or Miles Bourne again? Each one of those guys he's faced, and it doesn't make any sense. It's a lose-lose situation.
yeah, spot on. You said it last week. We both spoke about it. We both agreed. I don't know why they're doing this. It makes zero sense. It harms both guys at the minute. You even just seen it on NXT. The crowd is already a bit split on Ricky. As soon as Oba came out, nobody liked Ricky at that point. Oba was the man at that point, and this is damaging your top babyface champion. And as you said, if Oba goes on to win, firstly, it should Ricky's damaged. Oba's in NXT champion for no reason. If Oba loses, Oba's lost twice to Ricky. I don't understand it. I'm sitting here kind of really hoping, and more out of necessity than really like, oh, this is a good idea that this match gets changed to a triple threat somehow. I don't know who we add. A friggin'
Trick. Always Trick. Nobody cares.
well, that's
Trick.
the one I was thinking, but then I'm like, but then Trick has to lose as well, and I know he can probably face a bit more of a loss. Yeah. So either way, yeah, I can see this being a triple threat where we get Trick Williams added to it as well. Yeah, I don't want to see this at all. Yeah, I'm kind of holding out for this being made to a triple threat just so that Ricky can pin whoever. Lex is king. Sorry, put him in the main event. Um, why not? I don't know why they're doing this. It makes no sense.
So my first episode of NXT I watched was New Year's Evil, and literally ever since then, it's been Trick Williams and Obafemi knocking around the world title scene. And Obafemi, the last 3 months of Obafemi's title reign was not interesting. It wasn't interesting. We even said it on this podcast. It grown stale, grown just uninteresting. So at least Ricky Saints winning it was like a breath of fresh air, and he's not done bad with it at all. He's an interesting character, a good talker. He can wrestle. And I don't get why we're doing this. If you're going to have Oba come back, if we're really delaying it so he can come back and win the Royal Rumble, just have him go smash up Dark State. Take care of them. Get them out of there for
Please.
good. Yeah, exactly. Have him doing some good on the roster rather than just doing Ricky Saints again. The only way it works now is you turn Ricky Saints heel, which you have to do. If you're gonna have him beat Obafemi again, he has to do it heel. Um, Otherwise, it is just the most pointless thing in the world. It's so dumb. But there are a lack of NXT championship worthy performers in NXT. There's not a lot of them at all. There's not any. I can think Trick, Oba, Ricky Saints, Miles Bourne's not there yet. Ethan Page. That's literally it. And Ethan Page has already got a title, and he's got 2 titles, so he's not going to be going anywhere near that.
Sorry,
And
give
it's
him
just
3.
yeah, exactly. Give him 3. Just end it once and for all. But yeah, it just is so dumb. It just lacks imagination unless you're turning Ricky Saints heel. And he'll make a great heel, by the way. He will make a really good heel, but I just don't see the point.
So the other thing that happened on NXT, it was announced by Ava that John Cena will be picking the Iron Survivor participants for the Iron Survivor Challenge match at NXT Deadline. I this is cool. Obviously this is gonna be like a pre-recorded thing, and it's you know not gonna actually be him picking the people that are in the Iron Survivor match. But. Maybe he'll like throw in a good word for somebody, but like, oh, I kind of like, Ethan Page. Maybe you can throw him in there. Or like he vouches for somebody else in NXT. It's very possible he does that. But for the most part, it's gonna be, who he's told, is it gonna be in the match, and he just announces, which makes the match between Miles Bourne and Trick Williams next week very confusing because why is there a qualifying match for the Iron Survivor Challenge if John Cena is going to announce all the participants for the Iron
Yeah.
Survivor Challenge? Um,
Oh, Christ.
unless it's gonna be like he announces, a select few, and then the last member is like, okay, whoever wins between Miles Bourne and Trick Williams will be the last in the match, kind of thing. So maybe he does that, but overall, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, I guess this is cool for them.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of, I'm just laughing at that match because it's so true. Like, surely Miles Bond wins that match? Am I going crazy? It makes no sense of why they're having a qualifying match for this. I think a shoo-in for it actually on like a serious note is definitely Javon, because I know that is someone that not only do we obviously just know how good Javon is, apparently Cena's very high on Javon Evans. So I even though, as you said, Josh, this isn't Cena's choice. If he did get an actual choice, I would imagine Javon would be in there. We'll see him. Maybe we've seen Leon Slater get chucked in there as well. Do the two of them. Oh, the I have a bit of an issue sometimes with the Iron Survival Challenge. I hated the one that Trick Williams won. Do you mind the one where he scored about 5 pins in about 30 seconds? It, I hated that. It made at that point, that's when you're taking the scriptedness of wrestling and just like making a mockery of it. Because I just thought it was so stupid. I mean, the matches themselves sometimes are fun. It's just that part of it when it comes down to the final few seconds. I'm a bit like, right, okay. Oh, actually, it'll be fun. I don't know who it will eventually be. Maybe that is someone that gets added through that Oba Ricky match. I don't know. I'm intrigued to find out. Intrigued to find. They doing the? Have they? Is John Cena picking the women's one as well? Or is it just the men's one?
Um, I the women's one as well, I believe.
The women's one's well. Okay, that would be cool. Jordan Grace would be in it and not win it again. No, that okay. I mean, it's cool. I'm intrigued to find out. But yeah, I just keep laughing at the qualifying match thing because like it's so like what?
Yeah.
I'm glad we got the camera today because it's what was John Cena doing against Dom Mysterio? John Cena's picking the participants for the Iron Survivor. No, he's not. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Can we just have Javon Evans win something? For the
Oh,
love of God, can
please.
he just win something?
The Jordan Grace of the main division.
Yeah, literally. We always talk about Razor Ramon should have won the world title at some point. Javon Evans is already there, and he's only been in it for about 2 years. He's already there. Javon Evans should have won something. For the love of God, give him something. That's it. That's all I have to say. John Cena's not picking anyone, and Javon Evans needs to win, or I riot.
Yeah, but they're having him lose to Dark State, the worst stable on the planet.
God. Oh man. Dork State sucks.
I fucking hate Dark State, and I'm saying it here live on camera. I don't care. They suck ass.
Yeah, so
You know
bad.
what? They're so bad. I don't even hate them anymore. I nothing them.
Yeah,
I
okay.
barely register their existence.
It's one of the things because me and George have been speaking this a lot over the last couple of weeks. The fact that like there's individual talent there, bar Cutler James. Like as a tag team, like they'll bet like I'll keep using that Hardy's match. How good was it when we halved? The match got so much better when we took two members out of Dark State and just had the tag team. That was a lot better. Saquon Sugars individually has got a lot of talent, but as a stable, they're just one of the worst things I have ever seen.
Oh, so bad. So bad. It's like the Nexus, but the core, but then with Mustafa Ali's lot, and then worse. It's like, you know, when you have a little bit of squash left, so you have to really keep diluting it down.
Yeah.
Well, the tiny little bit of squash left was Nexus, and they've diluted it right down to Dark State now. So bad.
I actually hate them. I don't hate a lot of things in wrestling, particularly when it comes to actual competitors. I hate Dark State, like straight up.
I don't understand how you make this group look stupid for weeks and weeks. You had Javon Evans outrun every single member of Dark State and win that match against Saquon Sugars. And you had Javon and Leon outsmart Dark State, and
Mhm.
then they lose. What the hell? What? That doesn't make any sense.
Even their finish is rubbish. You know, when you used to
Oh,
play at
yeah.
school, you used to have the big parachute thing, and
I
you
know
used to sit on top of
exactly
it
what
and
you're
go,
talking about.
wait, that's literally what they're doing. That's
Yeah.
their finisher. Whee! Boy.
God. So it's like a finisher they teach in a kids wrestling class. Uh,
Is that not what
I bet,
NXT
I bet,
is?
I bet secretly the guy goes, whee! When he goes up the air.
oh man. But that was NXT. That's all I had written down because I didn't feel like there was anything really worth talking about on SmackDown last night. Like the match quality of things were good. But other than that, there was nothing too important that happened on SmackDown. Was there anything for you guys that you wanted to talk about?
Nathan
Code.
Fraser's steroid use.
Oh my god, the guy's a maniac.
Honestly, but where his arms come from all of a sudden?
Yeah,
When
I
he
mean,
came out in a bet the other day, I was like, what the hell? You know, wait for a week.
he's good. Oh, we got Rebel Heart back as a theme. That's
Yeah.
better than yeah, that was good. Cody's promo was good. I enjoyed Cody in there. Better than some of the other ones. Drew looked sadistic and then just didn't show up for the rest of the show. Well, he just locked outside, I suppose, for the rest of the show. Yeah, I mean the match quality said, but it was better than what we have had for the last few weeks on SmackDown. It wasn't as amazing as Raw's been, but I enjoyed it for the most part.
I like the Paul Heyman just going around pissing off PMs or GMs at the moment.
Yeah,
I really enjoy that part of everything. Bron Breakker shouting out he's not here, he's never here was my highlight of the whole
yeah,
show. That was brilliant.
yeah.
The Logan Paul hand thing was very interesting,
Oh yeah,
but staged.
yeah,
And it was. I was like, oh my god, he's got pronouns on his hand, and my wife was like, well, no, he's done that on purpose. He was like way too obvious with like looking at it, and then so I don't understand why we've done that, but I'm sure that'll
yeah,
rear its head in good time. It was a nice episode of SmackDown.
yeah.
Axiom, just keep your mask off, mate. You're Spanish, not Mexican.
I know it's funny. I know I was like, oh my god, A-Kid's back. Woo. Um, yeah, I was also obviously shout out because I did my wee video earlier. Shout out JD McDonough, man. That match against Elio was so good. I knew it
So
was going to be
good.
good when he came out. You see, it's so funny the amount of people on X, because of course it was, having a go because he came out to no pop, and I'm like, yeah, well that's WWE's fault because when I see him come out, I was like, match is going to bang because
Oh, exactly.
Elio versus, as I said, Jordan Devlin technically. What a match! They've had amazing matches in OTT. They had an incredible match for the NXT UK Championship at one point. Yeah, it was always
Tell
going
me
to be
the
great.
tell me the last time you saw a bad JD McDonough match.
Well, this is my point. This is why I put out that video earlier, because I was like, he has got to be one of the most underrated on the roster. He's so good,
He's
but
Dolph Ziggler now.
yes, he just makes everyone look amazing.
Exactly, and that's a curse. I know it's meant to be like that's how you get into
Mhm.
wrestling. You know, you make people look good, but that's a curse because he's so good at making people look good. Look how we made Penta. Penta's, I think it was his Penta's second match
Mhm.
was against Jaden McDonough. He made him look. That's the reason Penta's so popular in WWE. It was, well, one of the reasons with like say the casual fan
Mhm.
is because Jaden McDonough and Chad Gable made him look so good in those first two matches, and Gable's always going to be slightly cursed with the fact that you're just so good at making others look good, but he deserves something, not a stupid tag team title that he never defends.
I know. That's why I said that. I definitely think after the Judgment Day disbands, I could see a US title or an IC title in the future. JD, like he's so good. Like again, I kind of biased and cheating because I remember watching him over here on Progress and ICW and OTT. I know how good Jordan Devlin is, but like I'm glad, and I also brought up the fact and that I think even backstage that's starting to get recognised. But it was after he did the spot where he got the punctured lung, and you even hear
Yeah.
Michael Cole on commentary. Like beforehand, he would just always make fun of him, but even now, Cole's like he still kind of makes fun of him, but he's like, nah, this kid's got heart. He's like a fight on it. You think I think he's definitely gained the respect of like a lot of people backstage.
Well, the fact he wrestled for like what 12 minutes
I
after,
don't know how.
I don't know how you get the human spirit to do that. I mean, they
Yeah,
call him the Iron Lung now, don't they? Every now and
yeah,
again,
yeah.
rightly so.
Going back to the Logan Paul thing. So obviously I made a video about that earlier. Um, it like Stu said, it was obviously an intentional thing. I go online and I see a whole bunch of people making fun of Logan Paul having promo notes on his hand. I cannot believe you guys got me up here defending Logan Paul out of all people. Out of all people, you got me up here defending Logan Paul. It was clearly a thing he did intentionally to gain more heat, and obviously it worked. He literally said in the promo, "I have five things I need to say," and looks at his hand.
Yeah.
And like, come on, it's not a situation where it was like The Rock who wrote his promo notes on his wrist and then got called
I
out
would
for
say
it by
never.
Cena. Logan intentionally did this, and I think people need to like think for like 30 seconds. Do you really think Logan Paul is gonna go out there with Paul Heyman with promo notes on his hand? Paul Heyman's gonna look at that and be like, "Are you out your fucking mind? Like, what are you doing?"
You said that like Paul Heyman
Are you out your fucking boss?
now.
Like, that's exactly what he would say. But if like it was just, part of it, he'd be like, "All right, yeah." Um, yeah, it was done intentionally. I can't believe you guys got me up here defending Logan Paul out of all people, man.
Our
Um,
work here is done.
but that's the headlines of pro wrestling this week. A very stacked show this week. Obviously, we are glad to have Stu World Order back on the show. So yeah, glad to see you back, man.
Happy
Um,
to be back, man.
of course. I will be back later tonight. Oh my God, that just dawned upon me. I have to be back here later tonight. I will be back later tonight for the AEW Full Gear post show review. So I will be here. And then tomorrow, obviously, like I mentioned, the Kayfabe recap and then the interview with Mikey Truth dropping. Episode 9 of the Kayfabe sessions are dropping. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. A lot of stuff coming to the channel and coming to the TikTok pages and stuff. I appreciate all the support that I've been getting on the shorts and TikToks that I've been posting. So thank you to everybody who's been showing their support and showing to the videos. I literally had somebody tell me earlier today that he is trying to catch up on my videos. So I appreciate that a lot. So thank you to everybody who's showing their support. It's honestly, like even when I go live on TikTok and like just a few people join in and like show support, like things like that just make my day, honestly. So I appreciate it a lot, genuinely. So thank you to everybody who shows support to the channel and everything else that I do. And obviously, things like this, we wouldn't be able to go 2 hours without Rue and Stu as well. So obviously, they are a big part of the show also. So yeah, make sure you guys go follow me on everything. Also, like I plugged in the start of the podcast, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. Go ahead and follow me there. Rue, did you want to plug your stuff?
Yeah, I'll try to be better than I was on Wednesday. It's Run Wrestling on TikTok. I post a lot of said reactions, predictions, reviews, fantasy booking, all that over there, so that's fun. And as I am also on YouTube, I stopped posting there, but I'm going to make the attempt to kind of come back and keep posting the shots there. So it's we're on at wrestling.
Stu.
Oh, I've got to sell myself now. I used to do it for me. This is great. I have disappeared for a while, but I have returned with fervor. So look at Stu World Order on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. There is a Stu World Order podcast coming soon, very soon. But yeah, but for now, I do my videos. I do lots of UK indie stuff as well. So Rue does that for Scotland as well, and it's awesome. So yeah, catch up on those, man. We're trying to make British wrestling great again.
And Josh now for Ontario as well.
Oh yes, and Josh now for Ontario as well, trying to make Canadian wrestling great again, or for the first time. I don't.
For the first time in a long time. Yeah.
We are doing our work for the indies, guys. Never let it be said we're not trying our hardest for the indies.
Absolutely. And for the next Destiny Wrestling show, I'll talk about it more tomorrow, but we got the Rascals coming to Destiny World Wrestling as well. So yeah, I mentioned that. Zachary Wentz took a little peek at my story when I mentioned him as well. So yeah, trying to get Ontario Wrestling back on the map. That starts with Mikey Truth interview tomorrow. That's dropping at 11 a.m. So make sure you guys check all that stuff out. And without further ado, I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.